Imagine a world where you can eat all the desserts you ever want without ever feeling guilty. Wouldn't it be nice? Unfortunately, that cannot happen for several reasons. The reason we're going to be talking about today is type 2 diabetes. So let's see what happens to our body after we consume a big sugary meal. So once we finish consuming a big sugary meal, our digestive system is going to step in and it will break down the food into something simpler, which is glucose. And glucose is a type of sugar that's your body's favorite energy source. That glucose will be absorbed by the small intestine and it will enter the bloodstream. So now what's going to happen? We're going to have an increase in the blood sugar level. Now, this increase in the blood sugar level is going to stimulate the pancreas. The pancreas is an accessory organ of the digestive system, and its function is to sense this increase of blood sugar level and is going to release a hormone which we call insulin. Think of insulin as a key. It travels through your bloodstream and it unlocks doors of your cells so glucose can go inside and be used for energy. So, how does that work? Insulin will bind to specific receptors on the cells. Once it binds to specific receptors, it's going to allow the glucose that is found in the blood to enter the cell. Now, once the glucose enters the cells, it's going to be turned into energy that helps us move our muscles, to think, to learn, to breathe, and to keep our heart beating. Now, this is the system that works to keep our blood sugar level balanced. Now, what happens in a person who has type 2 diabetes? This entire process is going to be disrupted. At first, our body is going to stop responding properly to insulin. We call this insulin resistance. Remember the lock we talked about? The lock now becomes rusty and the insulin key doesn't work well anymore. So, what's going to happen if insulin is not opening the doors of cells for glucose to enter? The glucose will stay in the blood and we're going to have a high blood sugar level. To be able to compare between a person who is healthy and a person who has diabetes, the normal fasting blood glucose levels in a healthy person are between 70 and 100, while a person who has diabetes, it's between 80 and 130. Now, what are the symptoms of type 2 diabetes? Type 2 diabetes causes increased thirst, frequent urination, increased hunger, fatigue, and blurred vision. However, can type 2 diabetes be prevented? Yes, type 2 diabetes can be prevented through very simple ways. First, we can eat balanced meals with more fiber and less added sugar. Second, to stay physically active. And third, to manage our weight, as obesity is one of the main factors that causes type 2 diabetes. Now, I'm not saying to not enjoy any sweet treat. However, remember, once you enjoy that sweet treat, the entire process your body goes through in order to keep your blood sugar level balanced. And make sure you do not overconsume sugar to stay active and to be healthy. If you learned something new today, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much and see you soon.